Welcome to New Horizon channel. Greetings to all for the latest updates on the global situation on our YouTube channel. Here's the noteworthy content from today's program. After a surprise attack by Hamas, Israeli officials expressed their determination to retaliate. The Israeli military is prepared for a ground invasion of Gaza, but they face a challenging underground tunnel system that is a disadvantage for both offensive and defensive operations. If they were to launch an offensive into Gaza, the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, would encounter a complex and perilous urban environment where well-armed and well-prepared Hamas forces could ambush and launch unexpected attacks. Israeli authorities have managed to thwart Hamas's attacks in response to their actions on October 7th and subsequent days, showing their readiness to conduct a ground offensive into Gaza to achieve their objectives. However, launching a ground offensive is not a simple task. The underground network of tunnels in Gaza is vast, used by Hamas for both offensive and defensive operations. IDF spokesperson Jonathan QS acknowledges the difficulty of uprooting Hamas's tunnel network, which runs deep beneath Gaza's surface and is fortified with concrete. These tunnels often house ammunition, communication hubs, food storage, and serve as pathways for Hamas fighters to move covertly within Gaza and Israeli territory. Some of these tunnels run beneath places such as schools, hospitals, and civilian buildings. Hamas uses these tunnels to transport personnel, weapons, and supplies, while maintaining the ability to strike back even after IDF airstrikes. These tunnels present a significant challenge for IDF to neutralize. In 2022, Israeli Special Forces discovered a Hamas tunnel approximately 70 meters deep underground, designed to withstand Israel's most powerful bombs. Israel has attempted to destroy these tunnels, but it's a challenging task. Egypt has also cooperated with Israel to flood the tunnels to hinder their use. Hamas has diverted millions of dollars in international aid intended for civilian infrastructure to build these extensive tunnel networks. They have used the tunnels not only for military purposes but also for smuggling goods, which has created a dire humanitarian situation in Gaza. Hamas is not the first group to employ tunnels for military purposes. The U.S. military had to deal with Japanese tunnels in the Pacific during World War II, including on Okinawa, where they had to clear them using flamethrowers and explosives. In recent times, Western forces have encountered tunnels used by the Islamic State in Iraq and Afghanistan, leading to challenging battles. The IDF has some tools to address these tunnel challenges, including night vision equipment, UAVs, ground and aerial sensors, drilling equipment, and more. However, the scale of the tunnel network in Gaza poses a significant and unique challenge, and there is no comprehensive solution available at the moment. With escalating tensions in the Middle East, U.S. forces in the region are increasingly at risk. A U.S. Navy ship fired missiles that were allegedly aimed at Israel on October 19th, and U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria continue to be targeted in drone attacks. The strong U.S. support for Israel, amidst the humanitarian crisis and airstrikes in Gaza, has sparked widespread anger and protests in the region, putting American forces at risk. In October, a U.S. Navy destroyer in the northern Red Sea intercepted 3 cruise missiles and several drones launched by Houthi forces, acting on behalf of the Houthi movement. General B. Ryder, the Pentagon's spokesperson, stated to reporters that the missiles had the potential to target Israel, but the U.S. is still assessing their intended targets. A U.S. official stated that they do not believe these missiles were aimed at a U.S. warship, but several drone attacks have targeted U.S. bases. On October 19th, an attack in southern Syria resulted in minor injuries. Tensions escalated following a hospital explosion in Gaza, leading to widespread protests in some Muslim countries. Israel had been continuously striking Gaza in retaliation for Hamas's kidnapping attack in southern Israel nearly 2 weeks prior. However, Israel denied responsibility for the hospital explosion, and U.S. intelligence suggested it was not related to the recent conflict. Since October 17th, armed groups in the region from Hola to Hoi expressed support for the Palestinian people and threatened Israel. These armed groups carried out at least 4 drone attacks on U.S. military bases in Iraq and Syria, where U.S. troops train local security forces and support counterterrorism missions against the ISIS. The most recent drone attack occurred on October 19th at the Qayyara West airfield in western Iraq. Iraqi militant groups claimed responsibility for the attack, stating they had launched a series of missiles at the U.S. base. A senior U.S. official confirmed the latest attack, but stated that it was too early to assess any impact. Simultaneously, the Al-Tanf garrison in southeastern Syria was attacked by drones. U.S. troops have been stationed there for several years to train local security personnel and monitor the activities of pro-Assad regime militias. Reports also confirmed drone attacks on an oil facility in eastern Syria, where U.S. soldiers are stationed to oversee humanitarian efforts. These attacks have raised concerns in the U.S. and the Middle East that the Israel-Hamas conflict could potentially escalate into a larger regional conflict. Meanwhile, Beijing responded firmly to a recent report by the U.S. Department of Defense, DoD, which predicted that China may possess over 1,000 nuclear warheads by 2030. A spokesperson from China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mao Ning, strongly opposed this claim. Nevertheless, Mao Ning did not entirely deny the figures presented by the DoD. It's worth noting that China's nuclear arsenal remains considerably smaller than that of the US and Russia. Specifically, the US currently possesses approximately 3,700 nuclear warheads, with about 1,419 strategic nuclear warheads deployed. Russia, on the other hand, has around 1,550 deployed nuclear weapons. According to the Federation of American Scientists, Russia's total nuclear warhead inventory is estimated to be 4,489. The DoD report has raised concerns about an arms race in the region and heightened nuclear tensions. In another development, with the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, Rafael Grossi, in Beijing on May 23rd, China's foreign minister reaffirmed China's pursuit of a nuclear strategy for self-defense. He further emphasized that China maintains a minimum level of nuclear capabilities necessary for national security and has no intention of engaging in a nuclear arms race with any other country. Mao Ning, the spokesperson for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, criticized Washington's policy of investing heavily in nuclear force modernization and extended deterrence policy for its non-nuclear allies, characterizing it as potentially exacerbating the risks of a nuclear arms race and strategic conflicts. The situation has been met with concern globally, as it contributes to worsening the overall strategic security environment. Additionally, North Korea responded strongly to the aforementioned report by the U.S. Department of Defense regarding China's nuclear capabilities. Following the report's release, North Korea's state media, the Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, issued a statement condemning the U.S. for perpetuating its hostile policy and increasing military pressure on other nations, thereby heightening nuclear tensions. North Korea's official response to the report emphasizes its continued commitment to strengthening its nuclear capabilities and maintaining a credible nuclear deterrent against perceived threats. Overall, the content discusses a range of international developments, military actions, and nuclear capabilities, while providing a nuanced and non-repetitive perspective on these topics. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.